The second is Sugar Cosmetics Glow and Behold Jelly Highlighter.
499.
यार ये कैसे पता है? एग्जैक्ट सोच भी नहीं रहे हो तुमको सब.
ये तो बहुत न्यू लॉन्च है.
You know what the
You didn't know this
but
one, huh? Yeah.
so any
You cannot miss today's episode because one of the guests is Shark for Shark Tank's Indian edition and the other is the one who completes her. I say this because this power couple is insanely ambitious and they set goals and they achieve whatever they want to. They have done it all. They have reached the best business school in the country. Then they have set goals to start their own startup. Then reach 100 crore mark within time frame. Then they have done marathon. They have done Ironman triathlon. And they have done every goddamn thing which they set their eyes on. So we have talked about how to achieve this winner's mentality. How to achieve their goals. How to set them. What to do if you fail to achieve them. Basically, this particular episode is the episode which is gonna be Startup Mindsets Masterclass 101. So you cannot miss this one. Also, this podcast is brought to you by CoinSwitch Kuber. CoinSwitch Kuber is India's simplest digital exchange and trading platform for cryptocurrencies where you can start trading from only ₹100. A simple, fast, safe and secure platform which allows you to start your crypto journey in the most user-friendly way. In the last segment of the episode, we have asked the founders about their own business and see, even the founders who are doing exceptionally well, how they struggle to come up with the prices of their own products. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody, you need to stop doing what you're doing for next 1 hour because the founders of Sugar Cosmetics, Vineeta and Kaushik, are here to give you some immense amount of knowledge which you cannot get anywhere else. Enjoy the episode till the end. You guys would know. It's if I put my dishwash gel in modern trade, 50 rupees for a bottle, in front of let's say a Vim or a Pril which is selling at 100 at 10, right? It won't do better than that. But the moment I put it 100 rupees, I get 2, and it'll do crazily better. I don't know how this works. Have you seen that something like this kabhi aisa hua hai?
I think maybe somebody who buys at 110 may really feel nervous about something being very cheap, very different. They're like, नहीं 100 रुपए पे करना है मुझे, but आप मुझे BOGO, India runs on BOGO, right? So, it's a ridiculous word.
Yeah, dude, BOGO has killed my margins more than anything else in the world.
We are anti-BOGO.
Oh,
Never BOGO'd.
क्या बात.
Yeah, never ever.
My initial success for the brand I got because of BOGO. And I never reduced the price. Because I was getting in modern trade, I was like 100 पे 2 कर देता हूँ. I don't mind. And these guys were happy to do it. Yeah. They did it. But because of that, now they want that on everything. They're like, अब हमें
that is the problem.
Because discounting ends up being a zero-sum game. It's like, at the end of the day, then that becomes your new price.
Yeah. That I heard it somewhere. I don't know who said it. That people get addicted to discounts. They don't get addicted to free. So if you ever want to do something, just surprise your audience with, okay, if you buy all of this, like you're gonna have a free surprise.
Freebie, yeah.
Freebie.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get addicted to that.
Yeah, because they won't expect the same thing. You can like do something else next time.
I heard it in some podcast. I think some restaurant business strategy.
But in India, a freebie doesn't work as well as a discount, especially online, because online, there is this natural habit of comparing prices across multiple websites, and that slashed price makes all the sales happen. And we are anti-splash price also. So because our theory is like brand is like a trust game over like 20 years. So consistency in a lot of things, including packaging, quality, but design and, price is one of those attributes that you have to be consistent in.
But do people still do that? Like, I'm just asking that because if somebody wants, let's say if I have 100 rupees to pay, and if I know that this is a product I like, why would I compare it on 10 different platforms? Like people do
99 ke liye agar if it's available somewhere, I will switch platform. That is the Indian behavior. Like literally
price
one
sensitive
buck.
Market.
Yeah.
This is like when you're booking a flight ticket, right? You will check what's the GoIBIBO code and what's my Make My Trip code. I mean, we've done that, right? So why? But check on it. I think it's become gamified, right? At the end of the day. So, kahin pe bhi you find one coupon which gives you 5% extra. You're like, okay, I won. I won. People don't want to buy. People want to win at e-commerce. People don't want to buy products in e-commerce.
Yeah, the Paytms have like the 1-2 rupee cashbacks in phone recharge and all have like dramatically moved.
Up to 100 rupee cashback, but we'll get 1-2 rupees. And I am not taking any names. I don't know which company you're talking about. But up to 100.
It happened to you.
One
Seems
lakh-
very personal. Like
one lakh-
Loka is like.
It says win up to 1 lakh rupees per day. Very good. Cool.
Oh,
1
and you
rupee.
get
No. Scratch card with a teddy bear which goes into my wallet.
Oh yes, oh yes. Oh my god. Okay. I have to say this. So अभी 3-4 दिन पहले I was looking at my wallet and I was checking मेरे पास क्या है कि have I ever like garnered enough cashbacks or something. My cashback is 600 rupees. Okay, total. And I'm seeing this after like 2 years. And during the entire pandemic I've only used I was never like app user. I was always a cash payer. और उसके बाद मैंने वो use करना start किया and my 600. मैं रोज दिखाता है cashbacks रोज दिखाता है. And then I saw that like 1,000 scratch coupons available. I scratch them, there's a teddy bear. I scratch them, there's a sunglasses. I like, just keep scratching them again and again, and then
It's a virtual teddy bear. They don't even ship you a real one.
No. It's cool avatar sunglasses.
कितनी करोगे क्या उसका?
See, now we are headed to
Metaverse.
Meta. Exactly. I was about to say, now we are headed to Meta. So everything, who knows?
Hey, nothing against metaverse, okay?
No,
I
never,
believe
never.
in metaverse. Like I believe my next startup maybe is going to be in the Web 3.0, and I'll make like my unicorn there. Let's not diss that at all.
Actually, no jokes. I mean, there's just people are, booking their names and trading it for a profit. And yeah, it's happening.
It's ridiculous what's happening. I don't know. So let's not go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you don't
we'll
know,
come
you don't
to like you use the word gamify.
Yeah.
We'll come to that later when we talk about brand. I think because it's a very important aspect which anyone in the current scenario who's trying to build an online business needs to understand. I think gamified is a very important concept and word. So I want you guys to explain more. But I want to start off with like the very basic question. And the basic was everybody says that you don't need an MBA to go out or become an entrepreneur. That's true. Like you don't need that.
Yeah.
But are there any benefits? Because obviously if there are top 1% of the world, like you both went to IIM Ahmedabad. Like that's like people dream of it. Obviously because of alumni network and lot of stuff. But is there anything else which you felt ki B school taught you which nobody has ever taught you in life?
I think that's the biggest one that you said, the network, because like my co-founder is somebody I met at IIM Ahmedabad, and in my previous company also my co-founders were my batchmates. And I remember when we had started up on campus, like literally you had access to like, we got Sanjeev Bikhchandani to come to our dormitory room and guide us on our website and whether
What
it's
are you
good.
saying?
Yeah, he was.
And was he that big that time?
He was very big because he was already like worth some 17,000 crores, but he was there on campus because it was graduate convocation day, and alumni like really make time for other students and alumni. So he just came down and he was very humble. He came down to the dormitory room because we didn't have laptops then, right? So desktops, you had to show a website on your computer. And he gave us feedback. So and it's been like that. Like you can like write to anybody saying that I'm an alum. Can I get a meeting? You may not get a check, which is the biggest problem actually that most businesses face. But you definitely get a meeting.
Wow.
With that, yeah.
Dude, Sanjeev Bikhchandani, I just gave me like goosebumps right now because I started contract manufacturing for one of their startup, one of Sanjeev's startup which he's backing, and the only reason I went up to them and went like, you guys want to buy it because they're looking to buy off like a detergent brand now.
Okay.
And I will never sell my baby. And I'm like, if you make sure that for 3 years I get access to Sanjeev Bikhchandani, you have the business. Like that hardcore, because I feel the mentoring which this guy can bring on table is going to be invaluable.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting started like at 25.
Yeah.
If I get that guy's access so I can build bigger things in life. So I was like ready to sell it.
That was
and you
a
guys
subtle
got
flex, 25.
Very subtle.
No, now I feel old. No.
Let's not go there.
Let's not. So let's come back. Like apart from alumni network, was there anything else which you felt that why should people go for B schools? Because there's some merit to it.
So I think what I've heard people say is sometimes it de-risks the path. If you take the if you wander off the beaten path, it de-risks you a bit, because I've seen that happen to me. I mean, when I was graduating, there was a pre-placement offer at an investment bank that I fought really hard for. पता नहीं मतलब तब भेड़ चाल में you want to prove yourself that I got that. And but 12 months later it just seemed like that's not what you want to do, and my first startup didn't work out. So after 2 months I knew it was crazy. The bank balance went down to 4 digits, and at that time we were also supposed to get engaged, and when the families start getting to know each other, there's this one question which keeps coming up. लड़का करता क्या है? Okay.
How much does he make? What is he doing?
Simple. लड़का करता क्या है? And I tried explaining. Then I realized I'm not understanding what I'm saying myself. तो ये इनको कैसे समझेगा? So I had to get a real job. So I think having that on the resume definitely helps you wipe off some of your failures. But that's not the most important thing which I take away from business school. I think some business school campuses teach you how to compete. Sports teaches you how to compete, but this also taught how to compete for things which you may not naturally enjoy. I enjoy sports, may not look like it, but I do. But यहाँ पे like for the best opportunities of campus, क्या fight मारते थे लोग, right? So it's a divide. You either put fight or you just say, okay, this is not for me, and then you live those 2 years of your life being one of those who did not put fight for the best opportunity on campus, and I didn't want to be that. So
yeah, so that's why you applied for the best. And so actually you skipped like a huge part, okay? But before that like if you were getting engaged and all of that, I want to get back to that. Before we go there, I want to conclude it with, like, I feel, you'd correct me if I'm wrong, that if you don't have specific idea of what you want to start, I think B school is a very good place to go, because it doesn't teach you, like, obviously it won't make you like an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day you're going to fail regardless of what you're going to do. But it teaches you punctuality more than anything. Like the way you said, like, they teach you how to compete. You know that you're going to compete, you're going to get this share, you have to be punctual, you have to work with like 10 people, 2 of them will suck blood out of your life, 2 of them will be like extremely, good people. So you have to make the balance of it. Then you have to become leader out of it, where everybody wants to be a leader.
Yeah.
So these are the things which is like a copy of real world. And that is what B school teaches you. If you don't have an idea, I think you should start there.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people do that. They go to B school after, engineering or whatever, because they're confused not just about starting up, but what to do with their life, right?
Yeah.
And they think that B school is going to give the
them out.
answers. And then they go to B school, and then after 2 years, they're like, I still don't know what to do with my life. So then they join consulting firms like McKinsey, because they're like, a consulting firm will give me exposure to like 10 different industries, then I'll figure out.
Yeah.
And then they realize that that also doesn't work. Finally, you have to like go out there and just figure out what you want to do with your life. And I don't think like B school is the place where you go get answers, because nobody gets answers there. You get answers by doing stuff, which I think you can get by running your own company or trying out something. So I have a slight disagreement there that, to solve like that decision-making problem, what to do with my life, though 90% people go there for that, I don't think it solves that problem. That answer is inside you, or, you have to figure it out.
But how do you solve that decision paralysis there? Like, because there are so many opportunities, so many exposure of industries, you can become anything and anyone right now.
Yeah. So the thing is that you always think that, okay, this is a big opportunity, and as somebody who has interest in business, you're always looking at a business saying, this is the next big opportunity, that's the next. You have no idea about that market and how competitive it is till you start up. And it's happened to me every single time. Before you start up, you're like, hey, that's the biggest opportunity, I'm going to kill it. And then, you start up and you realize within 3 days, there are like 40 competitors already there and 40 more who will come. And then you evolve, right? So I feel that there is no way to understand any sector without being in it and without failing and figuring your way out through that journey. And that's how like our business, like everybody tells us that you have to be the stupidest to think of starting a brand in India which competes with everybody from the L'Oreals to the Unilevers to the P&Gs, and a brand takes a lot of money. And everybody looking at this market from outside back in 2015 would think that it is stupid, right? But because we were in it, so submerged and speaking to those 200,000 consumers who were, shopping from our subscription platform, we had an insight that, even the giants didn't have, and which helped us start up. But there is no way to, I don't think you can do like a sort of an internship, or, you can like sort of study a market and figure out that figuring out what will work and what will scale typically happens only when you're in it, and then you're like super close to the consumer, and then you figure something out that nobody else has access to. So
No, that makes sense, but it's so heavy to understand. Maybe because you have done your business and now you know that, oh, these were the exact things. This is why you were able to transition into something and make it a big thing. But for average Joe, right, somebody who's just getting out of the school, this is like they don't even know where to build their first set of customers or consumers. There's no industry to choose. They don't even know their strengths. What am I good at? What am I not good at? So how can they figure out what to do at that point?
So I think there's a lot of literature, but I want to boil it down to 3 very basic questions. What do I build? When do I build? How do I build? I think we obsess a lot over what to build and when to build, and completely skip the how to build. It is very important to learn how to build, which means come on, the first person you date in life, you don't mostly get married to the person. So why are you obsessing about what to build, right? If you want to when to build, you start now, right? How is rank 1, right? So try something, work with somebody, at least learn, observe how to build. What aa jayega, 3-4 cheez try karo, something will stick. 5-10 cheez try karo, something will stick.
And like they say, any exponential journey firstly, the first few years are very flat.
Okay.
The reason they are flat is not because it's genuinely you have no movement. It's like you go haywire, and then you figure it out, right? But I think people obsess about getting things wrong in the 1, 2, 3 year time frame, not thinking about the fact that in like 30 years it's not going to matter, So the
Yes.
fact that you started the journey, the fact that you showed up at the starting line, that's all that's going to matter. And everything else, whether you climbed the wrong tree, then you got back, then you went here, there, it won't matter. So what you're starting with actually doesn't matter. If your long-term dream is, you're like, oh, I'm a Steve Jobs fan, I want to be an entrepreneur someday, then there is no better way than to be one, and then, figure it out, and someday you will, but you have to have patience that 10, 15, 20, 30 years, I'll be in it, and I'll, have the patience to go through the grind. I think most people want shortcuts, which definitely businesses don't give. Like, absolutely don't. You've made a business very quick and very young, but you're a rare example. I don't think people should follow your example. They should follow mine. The long, slow journey.
We will not edit this out. This is
There's such a runner's mentality I could see, like marathon runner, or don't be in the game for sprints. I could totally see that. But talking about it, I had a very good question for this, that, I don't know how to put this in the right words, is when people start, right? Even if they want to be there in the long term or the short term, they don't know. Right? They don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel that this is how they should start. Like, if you're giving, like, people should not follow my path, but this is how I want people to start if they ever want to make it. It's like, number one is you figure out what industry you're obsessed with. What industry you're obsessed with basically means that, are you interested in cars? Are you interested in FMCG? Are you interested in, let's forget, like, Bollywood? Like, are you the one who's reading page 3 every day? What are you interested in? That's number one. Yeah. Number 2 is, then you need to figure out what are you good at. Yeah. Like, are you a good salesman? Are you a good storyteller? Are you good with coding? Are you good with building or leading? What are you good at? There has to be something. Maybe art, paints or something, right? Whatever it is. And then you try to see that whatever I'm good at, how can I use that in an industry which I'm obsessed with? And that's when you find your idea.
Yeah.
So this is what I did.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you, especially on point 1, because again, if it's going to take really long, then you might as well have fun doing it. So I think, you start something which you can't relate to the consumer's pain point. Not only will you be probably not coming up with the right solution, but you'll also not enjoy it. And, if you're not making money for the first 5 years, you might as well have fun doing what you, love, rather than going through it as a, like, for instance, if you're not good at sales and you have to do like B2B sales every day for a living, which I tried doing in my first startup, it sucks. I mean, there's no joy, no fun in it. Here it is, you can have more patience to be in it for the long run because you're at least doing something you're excited about, passionate about. You love speaking to your consumers, you love seeing them, you love building things. So I think, yeah, that's definitely the most important of all the three.
And he put it right. He put it right in the beginning. Like, you don't know what you get obsessed with. Yeah. Right? Like, the way you start dating somebody, and after dating, you don't know that, like, maybe this person's going to be my wife or husband. You just start dating. Like, you don't know. On day one, you don't decide that. You're just obsessed with that person. Like, you really want to spend more time with them. And then eventually you figure out.
Yeah.
I'll sum it up by saying, stop obsessing about the question whether she's the one. Obsess about whether you can be a good boyfriend.
Oh, sweet. Now let's talk about you as a boyfriend.
Why am I dying? Meandering back to...
Dude, you are only putting... Like, you want to
Yeah.
talk about dating,
No,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
he's been subtly like... Yeah.
This is not in the script at all.
No, he's been subtly like dropping,
I know.
like dating examples.
Okay, so business school made us very competitive, and then we ran business. Backtrack.
And she was a senior. Like, and what happened there? Like, what was like quickly
I
figured?
can't hear. Can you hear?
You dug your grave, now you walk into it.
Okay, I want to know this. Like, this is a personal question for all the boys in the world. Okay, senior women are always hotter. Like, you just love them. Like, they're more attractive. How do you find him attractive as a junior?
I was
As a junior, okay? I don't mean like this.
Technically
Because
not
I've always
senior.
heard like girls don't want to date like younger boys. Right? So what was the thing? How did he get you interested in? What was the initial sales pitch? What was it? Like, how did you get started?
I think his sales pitch was, I want to build a company.
Go down on one knee and say, will you build with me?
Sweet.
And to clarify, he wasn't younger than me.
Okay.
He
How
had
many-
worked for a couple of years. I hadn't worked. So, I didn't see him as somebody who was younger and hence very attractive. Although I don't think I would have thought of that as a,
Maybe.
bottleneck.
Yeah.
But I think, so both of us, very incidentally, when we both graduated in our own years, he got the best all-rounder of his batch, I got the best all-rounder women from my batch. And we were
Sweet.
both like really, into a lot of things on campus, including sports. So we had so many overlaps. The biggest of that was like the passion to build someday. So I think, both of us had like these big banking job offers that we were very clear that we don't want to go ahead with. So I think in terms of what you want out of life, I think that is a very important thing, because if you and your better half don't overlap in terms of what you visualize your life and what you both want out of life, then I think you can be exact opposites like we are. I'm like an introvert, he's an extrovert, and we have like a lot of differences in terms of the things we like doing, we hate doing. But in the one thing we agree on is what we want out of our life. We want our life to be like big and fun, and and to create something and to create large businesses. I think that sort of is a big connection, and that's not changed over the last 15 years. I think most cases relationships don't work out because people grow in different ways. But the fact that we've been able to hang on to that big ambition of creating a very, very large business, I think that's really connected us through like some really shitty times and made us
So from
last.
day one, you guys knew that you guys gonna do something big, and that's how.
Yeah, whether we'll do it together or not, we weren't clear.
Okay.
But we will do.
You were friends. You knew each other, and like because of both of you were like extremely
Yeah, we used
super
to-
achievers. Like,
No.
dude, I don't know how this. I don't even know how to take this conversation forward, because best all-rounders in best B school now built like $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies.
I'll flip the coin. See, when you're not good at studies and don't get the best grades, you have to find something else, talking point. So I think that was a distraction. Chalo, sports kar lete, let's get some other. But back then, we'd read Richard Branson's autobiography and then discuss it, and it would just seem so daring and exciting. And of course, we had very warped ideas. We said, let's start a company, 3 saal mein IPO karenge, and we're going to. We just thought it would be much easier. And frankly, every journey, it has these points of disillusionment, right? And at that time, you need fuel. Find your fuel, right? I mean, we had to sort of say that what is our fuel. So sometimes we're like, okay, what gives me slightest motivation to even try again, right? So second time we started the building with each other was new. We hadn't done that. We had tried building separately with our different business partners. So this was new. And I think we really started enjoying that. That became a part of our identity. covered for each other. And
So you both started dating and then you started business.
On our first date, by the way, he gave me Richard Branson's biography. Since he mentioned it, I just remembered like
Losing
who
my
does that?
virginity.
Yeah, who does that?
that was not a hint.
that was
Absolutely not a hint. That was a boo. No, I love the book.
Okay. No, but like
Sure.
you guys
You
started
love the book.
dated and then you started the business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually
And how
started
did
our
you figure out
business-
your first business model? Like first was subscription based model. How did you come up with that?
So I was always very clear that I want to build something where women are the consumers, because I was just seeing this big shift in women my mom's generation and our generation. The whole access to their own credit cards, access to income. Like for instance, the number of women-run companies has grown from 15% to 20%. The number of percentage of women shopping online in the last 6 years has gone from less than 10% to 45%. So we're seeing that transition happen, and I knew that the next 2-3 decades will belong to women, because the way they are finally getting to step out of their homes. They are finally feeling confident and powerful. So all the things in the world that make them feel confident and powerful about themselves, and the things that they can do for themselves where they are the decision maker, those will grow exponentially. So that was the starting premise, and that was based on just observing everybody else around me. Now, when I was graduating, my original thought was to start a women's lingerie brand, but it required funding, etc., and that hadn't worked out, and which is why I had done this B2B startup, which I didn't enjoy at all. And so this time I was very clear that it has to be a consumer business for women, and we thought that beauty would be a big category which will grow probably 20 times in the next 10-15 years, and we want to be on the ride, because beauty was one of those things that women again do it for themselves. They just do it because it makes them feel happy, confident, and that's all. We when you start a business, first you always think hame kuch hatke karna hai. That's the pressure everybody has, rather than thinking that how big is the market, which by the way is the most important thing. Most people go into starting up saying that how can I be the most different, which makes the market so small, but we didn't realize it then. So we were really smart people. We wanted to use algorithm-based subscription, where you could really curate
Funky
these
stuff.
products for the consumer, because everybody was trying to do e-commerce and retail and brands. We wanted to be different, so we launched subscription. It didn't scale. Right? And that was our big learning at that point of time, that in the pressure to be smart and different, sometimes you complicate the business model so much that you have something which firstly the consumer doesn't understand, and secondly the market size is really, really niche and small. And that was the learning. The good thing is that because we were speaking to all these women and they were so vocal, and on one hand there were these women, they were like, I want products which last me full day, and I want products that make me feel unstoppable. And on the other hand, there were these traditional brands that were telling us stuff like, I don't think women will put their lipstick wala selfie on Instagram. This is 2012-13, right? They're like, e-commerce means brand dilution, right? Influencer will never be as big as a celebrity. Those were the things that the brands were telling us in every single meeting. And for us, it was very clear that there are these, auntie brands, as we call them, who don't get our consumer. And this consumer is going to make up 75% of the shoppers in the next 10-15 years.
Yep.
And that's the big opportunity. And there will be some brands that get them right, that there'll be some brands that have real women talking about products that make them feel better, and makeup being one of those categories where you can really, flaunt what you're wearing on social media, and that there will be a lot of that happening in the next 10 years. So that's how Sugar was actually born. So
Dude, you gave me a really good insight of what happened, what you thought about, and then how to go. There are so many B school lessons in that, business entrepreneur lessons. First is go for the market, which is big as hell.
Yeah.
Second is go for the market, which is upcoming, so that the market is getting developed.
Yeah.
Third is don't listen to the auntie brands because you understand what you want to do. Fourth is you want to go hardcore with your specific target audience and listen to them and, innovate on that particular front. And fifth is go with the gut feeling. You need to feel very strong about what you are doing and what you're trying to build based on the insights which you have, or else you wouldn't have, because people who have already done some stuff, they don't know what's going to work in future.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
and in 2015 there was no other way to get conviction to launch a brand in India. Like right now, D2C is all people are talking about.
Yeah.
Investors are pouring money, but literally most venture capitalists are men. And in 2015, it seemed like the stupidest idea to everybody that somebody would try to compete with the guys who are spending 200 crore on TV ads every year and have Kareena Kapoor or Alia Bhatt as their brand ambassadors. So I think that whole the fact that a very good product that that consumer can really relate to, and the whole content machinery where you can educate, because at the end of the day women were still learning how to wear makeup, right? So that whole education of how to apply a winged eyeliner and then buying it, all of that was happening in stores, but now you have the opportunity thanks to YouTube and Instagram to do it all online, right? So you're able to educate as well as and then use that as a medium to showcase your brand, and then you have like a better product than any other brand. So without spending anything on marketing, you can grow exponentially, and that's actually what happened with Sugar.
You guys.
The market was far less cluttered back then also. I'll give that. And to be fair, we took our own sweet time to understand what target market size would mean. I mean, there were funds which evaluated our business model and said, this is never going to grow big because the market size isn't big enough. We thought they were doubting our capabilities to build a business. At least I did. I said that, aise kaise bolta? We're going to prove it that we can build it. And we spent 3 years trying to do it. And then we realized somebody quoted this really interesting anecdote and said that, look, imagine you're a high jumper, okay? You're the world's best high jumper. आप अर्थ पे हाई जंप कर रहे हो. There's somebody who's not as talented you, वो मून पे 1/6 gravity में हाई जंप कर रहे हैं. That guy is going to jump much higher than you, right? So you have to be smart about where you play. So doing that bit of research and within your interest sphere, of course, really pays. I mean, we got really lucky because after 3 years of spending time in this space, we were like, okay, you know what? It's a brand play that I think might stick. Yeah. There seems to be a white space, and that was 2016 and 5 years.
So, but then the first startup was not doing that great.
It had scaled to
even the same space, but with subscription.
But it was subscription. It had scaled to an extent which was like maybe 1/10 of what we had hoped it would scale to. So it was a profit-making business. But I mean, here we were spending the best years of our lives with a 30-member team trying to pay bills and just sustain the whole dream of. And there's an opportunity cost, right? I mean, you've given up stuff, told your family and parents that no, we are trying to build something. So we had a lucky pivot, and that was a much bigger target audience.
So running a business is hard. If you're running a small business, it's very hard. You run a 10 crore, very hard. 1,000 crore also very hard. So if running a business is anyway hard, might as well dream really big and solve large problems, right? I mean, because it's not going to get easy either ways. Right? So you're going to have sleepless nights whether you're running a 5 crore company or a 1,000 crore company. So might as well aspire to be one.
You got a tax notices even if you're a 10 crore company or even if you're 1 crore or 100 crore company.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a solid real content, you realize that?
Give me some PR goodies.
No, it makes sense. But see what happens, usually when people come from certain backgrounds, okay, because if they're previous, the way that they've been brought up or their current situation, it's really difficult for them to dream big. Yeah. It's really easy for people who are little privileged. Like today, I can now say like, oh, dream big and all that. But when I started, this was like, I could have never imagined that I could talk to people as big as you guys, right? So it's insane. So people don't even dream that big. So how can somebody who's sitting and like, they just have a dream of कि यार मैं बस घर में 15,000 या 25,000 या 30,000 बचा के लेके आ जाऊँ. So what is your advice, or like what would you suggest them to get out of their mentality so that they can look at the bigger picture? Because when you work for that bigger picture, good people also join you and then start working with you.
Yeah. But I think the why is very important because like a lot of people whose dream is it to, I want to have a good life with family, this is my aspiration. Then that is your aspiration, right? I mean, सबको थोड़ी ज़बरदस्ती startup करना है. But for those who want to and are thinking that, अच्छा, how do I muster the courage to? I'll tell you the journey which both of us went through. It's not a solo journey. I mean, it's going to take 3 times the time you expect. So you say, I'm going to give it 1 year, it's going to take 3 years. So we have to be very certain कि अपना stop loss क्या है. Okay, this is the amount of time and money and emotional bank balance of my family I'm going to use up in these 3 years. and be very clear about that. If you cross that and play on sunk cost, you end up burning bridges, you end up going bankrupt, and that leaves a very bad taste in your mouth. You will never, it's tough to recover, to start up again, because that haunts you, right? So luckily, second time we started, I don't know about you, I had a chat with my parents and saying that, I know you're going to be pissed off, but I'm going to do this for 2 years. Give it 2 years. And when there was some news about some funding happening, mom would still ask that, okay, are you taking a bus or are you taking a flight? These trick questions to figure out how we are doing. But it was easier to bring them in.
The next time. But okay, before we move forward, I want you to explain people sunk cost, because I think sunk cost is one thing which people need to understand. It's a really good concept. Why don't you tell everybody what does that mean?
So sunk cost is something when you've invested in, let's say you've bet something, okay? And suppose you bet 1 rupee and somebody tells you, if you win, I'm going to give you double back, and you lose 1 rupee. You have a chance to walk away saying that, okay, I've just lost 1 rupee. But there is one point in your mind which says, let me bet 2 rupees, because if 2 rupees I win and I double, net plus 2 minus 1, I'll be positive. Maybe. But 50-50 chance, maybe you lose and you're 3 rupees down. Then you say, okay, now let me bet 3 rupees. And that is when you're not being rational. And that happens every day to so many of us in business, in the stock markets, in so many decisions. So sunk cost is when you're just spending good money after bad money. I think that's what simple definition of sunk cost.
And do people do that in business, in relationships,
time.
everywhere?
A lot.
All the time.
Just because I've invested so much time and effort till now,
Absolutely.
time, money and effort till now, let me keep doing it because mera purana sab waste ho jayega.
I'll take an example. I mean, I think people were telling us from the second year that this business is not going to scale. But we had spent 2 years of our lives. There was not just money involved. There was reputation risk as well. There was our personal equity saying that, these guys failed again. And you want to avoid that tag so bad that you're like, kuch bhi karke I'll make it work. And till the point you are absolutely crushed against the wall, you're like, okay, fine, I give up. And then when there's a quote from Fight Club which says, once you lose everything, you're free to do anything.
Yeah.
Something on those lines. Sunk cost is when you absolutely hit that edge and you're like, okay, fine. Now it's actually a relief. I could have taken this call 1 year back and saved a year of my time. I could have said I was 25, but but yeah, that's it's there. It's there in entrepreneurship. It's there in.
And you guys talk a lot about after 2 years if you started again. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just assuming that you from the beginning you were thinking about long-term game, right? So, but today everybody wants it quickly. 2 साल में तो लोगों का IPO हो जाता है दिमाग में.
I know, yeah.
They know that 3 year minimum चाहिए, लेकिन तो भी 2 साल में लोगों ने IPO बना लिया, right? They've gotten that $1 billion exit. 2-3 years से ज़्यादा time ही नहीं है किसी के पास. So why do you feel this is this thing, and how can we change that? How do we build mentality where we can think of 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, so that we make it a lifestyle and not pressure ourselves that we want it quick and fast and right now?
Yeah. Okay, I have to share something. So there is this, every day you get news items saying that, the youngest unicorn, the fastest unicorn,
Yeah.
and faster than fastest unicorn.
Yes.
And it is, but after a point of time, it's just news item. And I go back to a time when I was in class 11, and after 10th, a lot of my classmates, they were giving their SATs and moving abroad. And there was a schoolmate of mine, very bright student. He was not giving SATs, and I was very curious. And I asked him that, why aren't you giving SATs? You're such a bright student. And he told me, no, I want to study here. I'm like, but क्यों? वहाँ पे अच्छा opportunity है. And he told me something which is over 2 decades old. I still remember. He said, some will get there faster, I will get there stronger. I remember this is the exact quote, not one word less, not one word more. And I remember that because as a 17-year-old, that quote hit me and said that, यार मुझे अगर जीतना है तो मैं आज जीतूं या 10 साल बाद जीतूं, मैं तो जीतूंगा ना, but मुझे 10 साल खेलना है गेम उसके लिए. So that sort of helps me steer away from a lot of FOMO-ridden distractions. I mean, nobody is superhuman. होता है कभी-कभी, but by and large, I'm like I'm the guy who parks the car पीछे करके, not front in, and निकलते वक्त it'll be easier, delayed gratification. So it's just who I've grown to be, and that's I think helped manage, focus on away from a lot of distractions. So I mean that's me.
Yeah.
You want to come out stronger in situations. You don't want to win stronger. That's your thing. Like if you want to play a game, you play with all preparation and stronger rather than just trying to get everything quick. Something like that.
Yeah, so let's take the triathlon for example, right? And I remember there was a time when we realized that we're not competing as pro athletes, right? The game in a triathlon is, can you complete a 4 kilometer swim, a 180 kilometer cycle ride, and a 42 kilometer full marathon within 17 hours? And then at one point in time I realized the goal is not to compete with others, the goal is to complete. And if you treat your life, your business, your goals as a game, can you complete and focus on that instead of trying to compete?
Wow.
I think that shift in reference changes everything for you. I mean, it changes everything for me.
Dude, you just killed like a zero-sum game for me. So that's like insane. That's amazing.
But
You are in the game to complete it, not to compete. Wow, amazing.
I mean, so again, a slight distinction here. See, the let's say the stage at which you've built your work up, right? You've reached the pro level, wherein maybe competing also matters every day, but that's 1%. For the remaining 99% who are listening to this and all that, I mean, यार time आएगा compete करने का अगर compete करना है तो. For now, can you just focus on completing? I think that's important. That's why everybody gets a medal when you do a 5K and a 10K, right? Yeah, celebrate completing.
Yep. But don't you think it's bad?
Satisfaction.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, I hardly believe this. Like, I'm a strong believer that not everybody should get a certificate for participation.
Yeah.
Or like medal for participation.
No, you
because
get
in
it
life
only
it
for
doesn't
completing.
Completing, yeah.
So you still have
So like
to,
everybody's a winner.
If you
make
complete,
it to
like
the
a
finish
marathon-
line. If you quit before
Yeah.
that, then you get this big did not finish certificate. So
Oh,
as a
DNF.
marathoner,
DNF.
you're like very like, that's your life's biggest fear. Like getting that DNF because you're like, that's...
Oh, that also counts. And how do you build this mentality? Like, what's
So
your game?
I of course I've been like a marathoner for many years now, and as a marathoner, the first thing that you do is, of course, you learn to pace yourself. So I learned this from one of our investors that anybody who's like reasonably smart, if they give like 15-20 years of their life to something, they will be able to build something that's world class, right? So that is something that, because obviously if you're consistent, you're putting in the hard work, they will be able to build a world class company. I think there's very few cases. Most cases the failure happens because somebody decides to quit earlier. The same thing about running, right? If you can be on your feet at a marathon is a 42-kilometer run. Even if you're at your feet at like a speed of 8 kilometers per hour for that period of about 5 hours, you'll be able to complete. The challenge is like most people are not firstly, they're not able to pace themselves, so they go too fast, too early. They have burnouts in the first 2-3 years, and then they're like, okay, business is too hard, it's not for me, and then they quit. For us, we were very clear that, we are in it for like 10, 15, 20 years. So we're not going to burn out in 2 years, and we're not going to like put our life on hold. Like, for instance, if we want to have family, we're going to have family. Like our, first child was born along with sugar, right? So it's not like you're putting your life on hold. It's not like you're saying that, okay, I will not travel. I will not like pursue my passions. And that's one part of it. And second is have like smaller milestones, because it's very hard for people to have 10-year, 5-year, 3-year dreams. But it's much easier to break that down into smaller milestones. And that's what you do as a runner. You're always running like, one pole to the other. And literally, like if you run a race with somebody else, you're like, okay, our goal is next pole tak pahunchna hai. Tab tak, we're not quitting. Then you get to the next pole, you're like, okay, next pole, till then we're not quitting, right? And that's what you do as a business. You're like, okay, fine, I want to get from 5 crores to 10 crores next year, and I will not quit before that. So it's very hard for most people to imagine what they can do in 20 years. You can build something phenomenal in 20 years, but, you quit on the 5th year or the 6th year because of the fact that you couldn't meet like the big dream that you had for yourself. Like when I first started my company, I thought I'm going to IPO in 5 years. And I failed so much in those 5 years. It was just so, tough and so humiliating because I always thought I was like the best in my college at IIT, at IIM, and, I could do anything. And that, those 5 years of like struggling and failing and not getting business and not being able to scale it was one of those defining moments where I realized that, wow, I failed spectacularly and I survived. So like all my life, this game I'm playing trying to avoid failure, that wasn't worth it,
Yeah.
because like I could survive like a big failure. And I think that was very liberating, because the next time I got into it, I was very patient. I was, very clear that like 20 years this market is only going to change, right? So if you're not worried about growing like 10x year on year, then your market will grow 10x anyways in 20 years. You just have to grow faster than the market, and you'll grow like, significantly, right? So you have to have that patience.
Wow, that's such a good thought to put in, that you just have to think of next pole. But when you start, okay, I wanna ask you both of this. Like both of you have to answer separately.
Okay.
What was completion for you in the beginning? Because on day one, like, did you guys think ki IPO is the completion, or like 100 crore or 1 crore or $1 billion? What was the mark when you started? Like, what was it?
The second time when we started the
Yeah,
video. So
yeah.
I think personally for
Like,
me,
what was that big for? Like, you guys said, like, you guys wanted to do something big. What was that big for you in the beginning? What was that big?
so large canvas, we wanted to build something, become entrepreneurs. But then that small dopamine hit, first milestone of 1 kilometer completed, का वो sign जो दिखता है race में, that was, can we raise seed funding?
Okay.
And I mean, it seems very immature and juvenile now, but that time that was it. 2012 mein, can we get one of these funds who are putting in money idhar udhar, write us a check? And in 3 months, somebody did, and that just seemed like, wow, we've gotten started. So of course, later we realized that was just
Nothing.
another standard, but when we started, that was it. Second, the other thing was also, can this scale? But that's again a longer term. The small thing was, can we grow a 10-member team? That used to be a thing. Can we take our team out for a treat? Annual thing. Actually, I remember the first year, we went to 8-9 of us went to Nashik, Sula for team outing, because सपने थे ना, कंपनीज का टीम आउटिंग होता है, एनुअल डे होता है, तो हमें भी करना है, तो गाड़ी भरो and chalo Sula. And still have photos of that. It was amazing, magical time.
So from the beginning, you had like very small goals which you had to achieve, or you were like, day one पे मुझे 100 crore बनाना है, या 500 से मैं बात ही नहीं करूँगा नीचे. Yeah, like
I don't think I had the confidence when I started.
Were you like the same?
So obviously we were very clear that 5 साल में या 10 साल में whatever IPO करना है, and that is still like a dream that we have. And I think there's an emotional reason behind it. Like I feel that our like people who supported us when we had nothing, which is our investors, our early team members, and of course our consumers. So it's that whole them feeling like proud of the fact that they supported the underdogs, which we were at that time, because we weren't like the most funded company, etc. I think that really matters. So the day we actually, our investors got to like, our early investors got to like the 100x multiple of what they had invested. Our employees are now like, whoever got shares have a significant upside already. I think that is probably what for the longest time that I was working for, because that really mattered to me, that if somebody really invested in you, like when you had nothing, can you ensure that you repay it like much more than what they expected? And now obviously dreams shift. So like I think most Indians just care about small things, and one of the biggest out of those small things is making their parents proud. So I think for me, like the first time my parents went to our store, first time they saw the ad on TV, those things, like you can't, like there are no numbers around it, but they matter, because that's at the end of the day, that's what matters most to us. And now of course the dreams are much bigger. So of course listing is on the something that we aspire to do. Another dream that I personally have is that I want to employ 10,000 women, because I do feel that they are probably the India's like most underutilized asset. Yeah, absolutely. And still probably 75% of women in India are not like doing formal paid labor. And yeah, it's a big number. So
75 is huge.
It's huge. Yeah. So and that's going to change. There is no, like, what we're seeing right now is just like the tip of the iceberg, and in the next 20 years, driven by the fact that there are of course all these social commerce companies employing women, companies like ours, I think we're already seeing that women of the millennial and the Gen Z generation are so different, and they're going to make it happen. I mean, I feel, I'm sure I'm going to live to see that day when it's probably up to 75% women in paid labor.
Sweet. I think you guys are like on your way to play a huge role in that, because obviously you already are doing something crazy. But I want to know what was the why when you started? Because we all talk about it. Okay, we just talked about it, delayed gratification. You want to complete it.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, right, what was the reason why you started? Because in beginning, I remember I was like, I just want to make little money.
Yeah.
Like,
so I
nothing
also
else.
have a stupid answer. I wanted to be rich and famous.
Yeah.
And within 5 years, I realized I was neither rich nor famous, and life sucked. And then, by then, so I realized that entrepreneurship is the worst way to get, like, maybe
Rich and
famous,
famous.
like, few articles, but people will also write about your spectacular failures. So, so entrepreneurship is probably the slowest way to get there. And, liquid cash is probably not going to come very quickly or easily. And so I think, but now it's for the joy of building. Now it's like just like so much fun that I don't want to say it, like if my investors hear it, they will kill me. But even if I don't get an large exit out of this, I love my job. Like I would work for free. It's so much fun.
Wow.
So-
No, we will cut that part. Like we'll make that this podcast should be investor friendly. But no, so what was your why?
I think the first time we started, it was just very novel. I mean, we graduated a year after Flipkart started, right? That back out of business school. So it was like, chalo kuch banate. And when you read books like Richard Branson's autobiography and all that, you're really super pumped. What happened in the next 4 years was that failed. And there was a chip on the shoulder. I just felt that I tried and it didn't work out. And the next time I started, I think part of it was a very desperate attempt to erase that I want to build something. I want to have something to show for the time I spent trying to build something.
Which can take the
And-
spotlight from your failure to your success.
Yeah, as in imagine the movie khatam ho gaya and kuch climax hi nahi hai. I mean, when the movie khatam ho gaya and you're like, oh, haar gaye. You're supposed to win. Sanju was supposed to win. So, so that's why the second time we started, the stakes were very high. And after the first years, when things were again not scaling, that was a tough phase. But baal bach gaye. So then I think the pivot and trusting our gut on building for the audience and just putting what we had learned. I realized one thing: kuch waste nahi jata hai. It's about how much you juice it, right? I mean, maybe you're going to juice it to learn something worth a lot. Maybe you juice to learn something a little bit. But whatever time we spend, we did end up juicing it to make sugar, and that changed the trajectory of our lives and what we were building.
Finally, right place, right time.
Finally, right place, right time. I keep joking about something, it's like, लोग बोलते हैं right place, right time कैसे very, very cool. So lucky you guys, you were in the right place at that. I'm like, nice, very cool. But wait, hang on, okay. There are two parameters, right, wrong. There are two parameters, place and time. चलो ठीक है, wrong place, wrong time. I was building insurance in 2008. हो गया. Right place, wrong time. I was trying to do beauty subscription back when beauty. उल्टा कर लो. Wrong place, right time. We were trying to do McKinsey, but wrong place. Finally, you run out of options, right? And then where do you end up? Sometime or the other. I mean, you can't time the market, right? But if you keep punching the market, right, कभी ना कभी तो correct time आएगा. And then everybody else may not be punching, but if you're always punching, you will hit, and people will say, "Wow, right place, right time." So I think that's pretty much what happened to us.
That's a great framework. I
That's
love
a
this
great-
framework.
yeah.
First time he told me, I was like, yeah, man, that's a great framework.
That's so cool, right?
Think about, right? You have to go through all those 3 parts of the quadrant to get to the right place, right time.
Yeah.
There is no shortcut.
और वो आएगा ही, किसी को first time
कभी
मिलेगा,
ना कभी
किसी को
आएगा.
10th time में, किसी को 4th time में,
Yeah,
but
like
मिलना
they
ही है.
say
yeah.
Messi ka, right? Like he has to get aim at the goal like 100 times to get that one.
Yeah. Wow. Now I'm thinking about so many things because I have killed like 2-3 startups I wanted to do. I've killed it in my mind only because wrong place, right time, right place, wrong time. All of this I've done. मैंने भी वो quadrant बना के सब cancel करते गया, सब like. But it makes sense. If I would have started any one of them, you never know, and that could have taught me something. And the other framework is, if you commit like 15 years of your life onto something, you're bound to succeed.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's no other way that you could do.
Unfortunately, neither a B school nor any other school teaches you patience. But like investing and everything else, you need consistency and patience. But running teaches
that's
you
a key. That's why you want everybody to start running.
Running,
Right?
yeah, dangerous. This is.
I'll join like Ironman triathlon one day in my life. I want to complete that. That's on my bucket list.
Awesome.
Nice.
I want to do it.
Awesome.
And so I also believe in consistency and patience, right? Like I'm hardcore on it. So I thought that consistency is so out of the room, like nobody is doing that,
Yeah.
that it can actually be used as your moat or as your asset
Yeah.
or your
Oh,
as a strength.
absolutely.
Like my
Absolutely.
my asset or my advantage as a content creator is just I'm consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah. So, that's what a brand is. A brand is trust because it's consistent. And, that same applies to your personal brand, right? If you're consistent, you get trust. And, that's how your personal brand or a consumer brand you're building grows.
Oh, the same way, right?
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah,
like you have
yeah.
to, if I create one video every day, out of 365 videos in a year, ek to hit karega.
Yeah.
The same way.
And the way you're consistent. You said, okay, this will not work with my audience. Imagine you're building a brand. You're like, okay, USPs, quality, and suddenly pressure mein aake because others are discounting. You're like, okay, buy one get one off. Audience is confused. Wait. I was ready to pay that much, but now you dislodge the positioning in the consumer's mind. Very tough to recover from that. So
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, this brings me back to the Gamify point. Thanks for bringing this BOGO thing, and we can like close on the loop of the podcast, and then we can move forward to the fun part of the last part of the fun part. I'm going to do a challenge with both of you, but before that, what?
Is it push-ups? No, push-up is the only thing I can't do. So, yeah, let me get blank.
No, I'm not doing any physical challenge with
Thank
you
you
guys
so much.
because I know that you guys are much fitter than me, so I'm never trying that. I know my target audience, I know my competitors, and I'm self-aware.
Till you come to the Ironman training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Till
Then-
abhi to I feel this is my arena. This is where I feel comfortable. But gamifying is a concept which I think my audience will love it. Both of you can share something on that. What is gamification for a startup, and how can people use it to attract more and more customers? Or maybe you can give an example of how some startups have built from scratch to like $1 billion or like unicorn just because they have gamified their offerings in a beautiful way.
So okay.
Because you're in a consumer front business,
Yes.
right? You must have used this day in and day out.
So I think just to spend line talking about what gamification is, right? It's a game wherein you are made to believe that you're playing a game and made to believe that you're winning something. And when I say winning something, that means somebody else is not winning that. That's when you win.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that everybody. I mean, going back to your concept, right? Which means, suppose as a brand you want to give 10% discount. There are two ways to give it. One is you slash the price on the product page. The other is you slip in a coupon and say put the coupon and then you get it because you've done some work and look, here's an advantage which you've done some mehnat for, so you feel like you've earned it. Somebody else will still purchase at full price. You can give the coupon to everybody, but the person purchasing it will feel far higher satisfaction if she or he uses the coupon, unlocks something. Words like unlock, right? Countdown time. That adds that gamification to it. That's something which is a limited time thing, something which makes you feel special. Because you know what? People actually don't want to win. People want to win and they want to be the only ones who win. So
Oh, yes.
people want them to win.
Yes.
That's when you feel the pride/joy of winning. Customers are like that. That's why you'll find slash pricing is there, but uske upar they'll be like, use this coupon to unlock additional gains. And those who do that, they just feel that, okay, I got even better offers than what was there. That's what e-commerce has amounted to a lot. I mean, the entire, credit is a great example, right? Initially, the whole, the way coins, the points, at least initially, the kind of offers that were there, I mean, real FOMO, right? You're like, oh, wow, I got noise cancellation headphones and all that we used to get. Similarly, all these initial scratch cards and, okay, there was this Diwali Google Pay Diya scratching, which everybody went nuts over.
Okay, what is it?
So there were these, every time you make a payment, there was you get a scratch card and you scratch it, there are like 4-5 different kinds of diyas you get, and if you collect all 5, then you get I think a bumper prize. And people really went nuts because you know why? 4 were very easy to get. The 5th one
Was very difficult.
was very tough. And people didn't get that. And when one person in an office of 200 people gets it, oh my God, the bragging
Flex.
rights. Oh my God, screenshots were being shared, right? And they're like, oh my God, you're so lucky. Doesn't matter if the prize was $5,000. It's like, it felt like she won 5 lakhs. it's like that is that bragging rights, right? So I think gamification a part of the world we live in. Everything. I mean, when you are visiting a mall and you know your car is parked, some corner of your brain, you're trying to see if you can slip in before the clock, the
Yeah.
meter crosses the extra hour and you get to pay more. Why? And this doesn't matter which income strata you're in, right? It's just the way the mind works. So that's
This gives a lot of insights about how humans work, right? It's like you are trapping people, kind of like, okay, not it's a good trap, like people, because at the end of the day they're winning. So you're trapping them into believing that they're going to win something. So you get them to play. When they play, it is designed in a way that everybody is going to get something. So when they get something, there's a sense of achievement. When they get that sense of achievement, it's a dopamine rush. So they want to keep coming up again and again and want to win some or the other thing. And you always save that one thing, which is a big prize or a big gift for few lucky winners.
Yes.
So that they get the flexing rights, and then everybody wants those rights. Wow.
Status-driven society.
Status-driven society. Use it in a beautiful way. So you guys do that with sugar, or you have a very strict...
So we do a lot of, for us, like, all marketing is content, right? So we are suckers for getting good quality content. And, like in makeup, the best content is something that teaches you how to wear makeup.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of contests around beauty, and they work really well. Like, that's what's driven us. Like, we, now have about 1.7 million followers on Instagram. We are able to reach 40 million women every month on Instagram organically. Wow. Primarily because of the fact that, there are just so many women creating that content for us. And then that is... what at the end of the day, as a brand, we feel that if we are able to replicate that experience of learning makeup that was happening offline on our social media properties, then women will connect with us as a brand that teaches, and that's what we want to be. We want to be the brand that educates women about makeup, because they're still scared. It's like investing, right? They're scared that I don't know this, and they want to watch like 100 different tutorials before trying one thing, just like investing, right? So I think that's when you gamify the process of content creation, it gives you that opportunity to do it at scale without having to have like 500 women in-house building all of that content.
And when you educate also, that it helps you win the loyalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, we feel that if your content's really good, then you don't need to spend on distribution at all. And at the end of the day, the best content wins. So you can spend a lot on distribution, but you have content that the consumer can't relate to, it's not going to do well. But you have content that's great, you can save all that money. So invest in great products, invest in great content, and then forget about like spending too much in marketing and stuff. Like, I think a lot of people struggle with performance marketing, ads, it's expensive, blah blah blah. But you've not invested that money in your product, you've not invested in teaching and how to use it. Then how do you expect like Facebook ads chalake to scale your business to 100 crores?
Yeah, because you can only extend it to... This is a great point to end with, because it hooks one of the things which I believe in. So every startup or brands which I am consulting on, and for marketing and their socials, right, I tell them that they all like hardcore performance marketing, because they want to measure like every metric.
Yeah.
And I tell them, like, if you want to grow your brand, it's a mix of three.
Yeah.
It's influencer marketing, it's performance marketing, it's content marketing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're doing influencer because now FOMO ki wajah se everybody's doing influencer.
Right.
Performance, because you could measure it, you could see ROI positive बहुत easily ho jata hai. But people are not focusing on content. So it has to be like all mix of all three together. That will eventually help you win the big game. So we're going to play a game, and we all say that founders and entrepreneurs should know their business very well in order to win, right? You guys are clearly winning. So I'm assuming that you guys know your business enough.
Okay.
It's a very
You're
easy...
beginning to sound like my investor now.
It's a very easy play. I'm going to tell 6 products. Okay, one by one. 3 to him, 3 to you.
You can't win this.
And
Product reports to him.
You have to tell us about the MRP.
That I might. Yeah.
That he might. Yeah.
That I might, yeah.
Okay, can you do that? Or
Yeah.
But it's not all sugar, right?
No, all sugar only.
All sugar.
Okay,
Every product you remember.
Okay, I can't mess
Shit,
this up.
can we make this difficult, guys?
No, I
Every
this
product
is
you
like-
guys remember.
There's some new ones, maybe it's like whatever, but
I'm just hoping that my team did a good job. These are prices from Myntra. So just
Okay.
making it easy.
My MRP,
right?
then
Yeah,
not
not
that.
discounted.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So done. Cool.
Who's
So
going
now-
first?
So I'll ask you.
Okay.
You first. Okay. One.
What if he gets it wrong or whatever? Do I answer? Do I get
You
points
have
for
a
it?
fair
Oh,
point. I'm just gonna have 6 things.
okay.
1-1 equal. You're gonna do 3-3. If both of you win, then I'll consider I lost.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes.
So first is Sugar Cosmetics Ace of Face Foundation.
$9.99.
Ah.
Such an easy
Easy
one.
one.
It's our bestseller.
Oh.
Second best.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's there.
It doesn't matter. 1-0.
Okay. Yeah,
This
that's
is
1-0.
score, yeah.
The second is Sugar Cosmetics Glow and Behold Jelly Highlighter.
499.
यार ये कैसे पता है एग्जैक्ट सोच भी नहीं रहे हो तुमको सब
ये तो बहुत न्यू लॉन्च है.
You know what the
You didn't know this
but-
one, huh? Yeah!
so
Shit, I could have, like,
anyway,
flipped the
so
script.
now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
no you can't
I can't tell you which one.
no you can't so it's-
1-1. Okay.
come on.
Then Sugar Good Moody's Lip Crayon. Oh.
I know this.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
I know what's
no,
the dilemma.
Yeah, the dilemma is I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying it's either $7.99 or $6.99, and I'm choosing $6.99.
No. Can you-
599.
Yes. Yeah. 2.
Dilemma भी गलत था.
Okay, that's just embarrassing.
Clearly winning. Okay, now the fourth.
This you're gonna get wrong. You know that. Now third one, no fourth one.
Fourth.
Fourth,
So
that's
for her,
mine.
it's the second
Yeah.
one. So Sugar Ace of Face Foundation.
You just asked
Yeah,
that.
that's the first one.
999, but you just asked that.
So there's the first one was Cosmetics Ace of Foundation. Second
No,
is this
it's-
the Ace
it's-
of Foundation.
It's the same.
No, this price is. I have a price of $8.99.
No. There's nothing which is.
But it's actually not there. It's a
Slash
sure.
price होगा. Yeah, 100%.
It's sure. It's maybe the discounted price or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
यार ये क्या यार मेरी टीम ने गलत दे दिया.
So, but anyway, you know, you got to. So
You
you
already
got to
are.
play that. So
But it's so cool. Like life plays out in good ways, right?
yeah, see how
You just got asked question which is not valid anymore.
invalid question.
So 2-1.
I
Okay. Makeup starter kit.
That is tough.
That is tough.
Wait.
because that's
See,
like
but
that.
because it is a starter kit, it has to be at a starter price point. Hence, I'm gonna guess $9.99.
No.
1099.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
those are like
But-
these merchandise things that we put together by
Yeah.
the team every
So
month.
2-2.
Yeah.
This is clear winner if you get it right.
Okay, fine.
Impossible.
Don't give me a kit.
Of course, there's a kit.
So it's a kit.
Ah.
Party ready kit. This is easy one. Party ready.
No, we every month change curate kits, so it's like I
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
guess.
Random
good
guess.
job.
Random guess.
Okay, random guess.
Party ready kit. Just to think. Maybe party is cheaper or expensive or like what it is.
I don't know, $9.99.
One more guess because he also gets wrong.
Achha, okay. So I
So it's
guess
expensive than the makeup starter kit.
who you guess? it?
Okay, 149.
No.
No.
I'll guess. 1199.
1299. What are you guys doing? You guys.
These are not allowed. These are not products. Yeah, these are just.
They are right. They're considered as product.
Or maybe
You do this way.
or maybe the scores were supposed to be 2-2.
Ah,
2-2.
Ah.
यार ये I want someone to win. I don't like this.
I don't like this. What is सबको medal मिल रहा है? What is
सबको medal मिल रहा है ये I don't like this
You don't
at
like
all.
this, yeah.
Okay. Let's just.
Let's do
Tiebreaker,
arm
tiebreaker.
wrestling.
No, tiebreaker.
No, let's say a tiebreaker. You get to choose one product which you think that she wouldn't know the price of, and you get to do the same thing. And let's see who wins.
I don't think there's any product.
You have a
We
product
don't
in your
know.
mind which he can't answer the price of.
Yeah, I'm just remembering its price.
Let's see. And we're gonna show like screenshots of Myntra at that time. Okay, like make
Yeah.
sure.
It's correct.
Okay.
It's correct. You can't get away with this. You guys are ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, done. Go.
Okay. Charcoal petrol sheet mask.
149.
I don't know. Check करना पड़ेगा. I just picked a very niche product.
Just for that, I think she clearly wins. She clearly wins. Dude, I love this poker face game. Like, what's wrong with you?
I like, I'm not supposed to guess. You're supposed to guess. I can check Myntra and tell you whether you're right or wrong.
But she's a clear winner. So,
So we'll go back to my dialogue at the beginning.
yeah. So you didn't even lose and win.
Yeah.
तुम बाजीगर भी नहीं हो, कुछ नहीं हो, back हो जाओ. She हार,
Back
तुम
हो
बस
जाओ.
आ गए, तुम हार गए, मान लो ये. You couldn't complete
I
it.
know. I couldn't complete. It's 9 years of. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can say you complete me.
That's where the party
Can you
do
check
it.
what was the? What is charcoal petrol sheet mask? Is it? It's a,
149, yeah.
Okay. So that's the
I think it's
clear winner.
199.
No, it's 149.
Let's
I'm just
see.
hoping that it's
Charcoal
wrong.
petrol?
Sheet mask.
Say she's right, we know.
Yeah.
We have
Don't
declared
put
her the winner.
So
We have declared her the
Pallavi, you're my friend.
This can be fun banter for vlog.
Come on, Pallavi, you can do it.
Ah, ta ta da da.
You
Dude,
were supposed to
lost
ask
for
me
asking
this.
the question.
I
But she
know.
anyway.
But you are supposed to
I
ask.
also had another question which you
What?
won't answer. Eyes and Shine crayon. Eyeshadow
Of course I
crayon.
know.
Huh.
499.
No.
599. अरे ये 100
always
रुपए
the
का
second guess. You don't get second
I know,
chances.
yeah. True.
Good one. So, thank you so much for coming here.
But if you'd ask something about the structure of our cap table, who holds how many shares, etc., I should have one.
So I don't want to know.
No, that's not fun. That's not fun. This is-
Yeah, I don't want to. Because there he can lie also. No? He can tell anything. I, wouldn't
I know, yeah.
I can't cross check. I play my games. Thank you so much for
No,
doing
thanks.
this.
This
Super
is
fun.
super
I
fun.
hope you
Super
guys
fun.
have fun.